Ever unsolo a track and feel like your whole mix falls apart? Most engineers think they've got to remove the junk problem, but really they're just mixing in isolation, not context. I nearly gave up trying to help my own students break through this exact wall. I wanted something that would basically recreate what I love about a certain DAW that I don't always use but respect, and that's the Harrison Mix Bus. So as I went down a rabbit hole to find similar solutions, I did come across Solid State Logic's 360 console software, which in theory gives you that same tactile SSL workflow within their plugins. But the catch is that it runs on a separate app. AKA, would you like to alt-tab your way through a mix that has over 200 tracks with this setup? I'm already frustrated thinking about it. I mean, every time you want to tweak something, you're bouncing back and forth between your DAW and this console view in this app. This is exactly the workflow problem I was trying to solve by not having to click too many things. So after 2 weeks of real testing, I had to admit it looked great on paper, but in practice, it just didn't hold up. And I absolutely mean no shade to SSL or the team who's worked on it. It's nice in theory, but it didn't actually speed up my workflow at all. And I couldn't imagine it helping my students the way I wanted it to. And when I was designing my course, it just felt like it was too much of an intrusive thing to actually help anyone. So I went further down the rabbit hole, and to my surprise, it seemed like no other plugin company had actually thought of the same benefits of the 360 style software, but just in a multi-channel singular support. I mean, it's really surprising considering so many channel strip plugins emulate more than one channel on an analog console. I just felt personally like it was a big oversight, especially from a company like SSL. But this did eventually lead me to a plugin you're probably gonna roll your eyes at. And it happens to be from one of the most famous mixing engineers of all time. And I'm not gonna lie, I rolled my eyes like everyone else when it first came out. And I'm not happy to say it was a plugin I trashed years ago as an overhyped cash grab. Like, I remember thinking, why does this plugin even exist? So doing what was best for my course and my students, I put my bias aside and I pulled out the Wave CLA Mixhub plugin from the plugin folder and decided to put it through its paces. Now, don't do what I did and don't let the simple and familiar layout fool you. This thing breaks new ground in doing what the Solid State Logic 360 console is trying to do, but in my opinion, a much more streamlined way. So as I was putting this plugin through its paces and I was seeing the benefit of it to add it to my course, one of the questions I had was, what is it about this plugin that hasn't resonated with people? And one of the things I came across is some people say that the bucket view feels a little bloated or overwhelming. And yeah, I get that. When you first get into this plugin, you're used to the one plugin at one time. It's a shift of mindset, but that's also the point and the brilliance of this thing. You're finally able to zoom out and mix the song as a song instinctively as you would on a console. And I swear, after I worked on it for a week, and if you try it for a week, you will barely notice. So let me show you why this plugin rips and will revolutionize the way you mix forever. All right, so in Logic, I've already imported some drum tracks that I use in my course. It is a pop punk drum track, and I've already gone ahead and added an instance of CLA Mixhub to every drum in this kit. And what we're gonna do to quickly set this up is pull up the plugin, and we're gonna go straight into bucket view. And then from here, we're gonna click on assign. Now, the cool thing is, once you're in each one of these buckets, you can assign whatever tracks are here to each bucket. So I'm gonna start with the kicks and get those all lined up. Then I'm gonna go to snares and get that going. And now you can see I only have one channel here. So for right now, I think I'm just going to add the mono room over here. And if I go to bucket 2, I can do the same thing for, let's see, toms, add these, and then I can go to cymbals, add the hi-hat and the ride, and then the overheads, and then go to bucket 3, and I can add my room mics, and everything is assigned now. So as I go through, I can see all my buckets and everything is good to go. The kicks is a summed track. The snares is a summed track. Same with the toms and the cymbals, which are all the hi-hat rides, overheads, everything like that goes there. And then you can see here, I have all my inputs, my EQs, and my dynamics. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with the overheads. And as a demonstration, I'm just going to show you how quickly you can navigate with just this plugin window to get a drum sound that sounds like usable within seconds as opposed to before. So now what I'm gonna do is just play the drums in this chorus section and start EQ and everything and see how fast things happen. sounds like we got already a pretty cool sounding kit sound going. Now let's add some dynamics into this mix. Get some of these rooms under control real quick. We won't probably need some of this low mid mud. And for fun real fast, let's go to all these tracks and let's just turn off CLA Mix Hub and take a listen. Pretty sick so far. Let's go tinker a little bit more with some of these kick drums. All right, and let's remove some of this 60 hertz so that it's not competing too much with the main out kick drum. All right, and because of the sound of the snare, I'm just going to go and bring that down just a little bit. All right, so next is the EQ on the hi-hat and the ride. I don't think need to be as loud as they currently are. All right, and for fun, let's listen to all the drums again without any of the CLA Mix Hub. All right, and now let's bring it back in. gonna start it with CLA Mix Hub off and then bring it in while it's playing so you can hear the difference. All right, now at the tom section, let's dial these in. All right, and let's get some of these levels balanced out a little bit on these drums because now they're a little bit hotter. And now let's bypass it again. And then bring in CLA Mix Hub. As a mixer and an educator, I'll say this. If you're trying to mix a song that actually sounds glued and works together, this is one plugin you need in your toolbox. But even with the confidence that this plugin unlocks, there's still one trap hundreds of students I work with fall into, and it holds them back way longer than it should. That's why you can't afford to miss this next video, where I reveal how you've been using compression wrong this whole time.